Hey guys, Jiu Jitsu Bear here. I'm gonna do also like not just move of the week, but I'm gonna do videos that are like concept videos or things that you might hear about all the benefits of Jiu Jitsu, because there are plenty. Um, you hear about some Jiu Jitsu practitioners that they have really healthy egos. They're just, they're nice people. The ones that end up training for years and years and years are typically really, really good people. And I wanted to kind of explain why jiu-jitsu practitioners especially have normally such really healthy egos. They keep themselves in check, makes you a calmer person. And so I was going to give you a quick little story. And the story is that when I was a white belt, I was probably training for about, I want to say about 10 months. This was like 5 years ago. And starting to understand what was going on. I was starting to understand certain chokes. And a guy came in. I'll say his name. His name is JR because he tells the story too. He came in, Hispanic dude, shaved head, tatted up, and literally was a bodybuilder. And he was a bodybuilder for self-defense. He just thought if he was stronger than anybody else on the street that he would be able to whoop him. And he came in. I think it was his third or fourth night that he was training, and he came up to me and. When you can see that a guy is strong underneath the gi, you know that he's strong. So he came up to me and I was like, oh my God, he's like, hey bro, you want to roll? I go, yeah. So I'm really intimidated. I didn't have much more mat time than he did, and I really didn't know what I was doing. So anyhow, we started rolling, and immediately I started like throwing him around a little bit. And I ended up, we rolled a little bit, and then I ended up putting him in what's called a paper cutter choke. And he fought it and fought it and fought it, and he almost went to sleep. And so when we were done rolling, I go, dude, like, what are you doing, man? Like he's like, oh, I almost went out. I go, man, if you're gonna go out, like we're grown men, we got to go to work tomorrow. So don't let people, choke you out and put you to sleep. I mean, now we know that it's not a big deal to be put to sleep at all. But yeah, so after that happened, he spent more nights in the Jiu-Jitsu Academy than he did in the weight room. And he and I talked about that. So he's trimmed up. He's not a huge, bulky guy anymore. He's still very strong. But he just saw the very first day he walked in, our Jiu-Jitsu instructor sent him to a guy that his name is Ben. He's a purple belt, and he's tiny. He's a little guy, probably 150 pounds. And again, this guy JR was, I would say he was 250 pounds, 220 pounds with just solid rock muscle. And Ben just absolutely mopped the floor with him. And he could not figure out how he went in there and just got completely annihilated by a 150-pound guy. And so it humbles you. When I roll with a upper belt woman, female, and there's just nothing that I can do against her. And so, as a man with this much sizable difference over over the women that have been training for much longer than I have, and they can whoop you, man, that humbles you real quick. And so it's such a healthy sport in that regard. And I just found out a couple weeks ago, a mutual friend, or a friend of mine, ran into JR, and they started talking, and JR told that story about how he was so strong, and then I was able to tap him to a choke. So, yeah, that's why jiu-jitsu practitioners typically have healthy egos, is because you just walk into an academy, you don't know what to expect. And if you walk in feeling all, good and strong, you're feeling good about yourself, and then you get absolutely worked by someone that it just doesn't make sense to you. That keeps your ego in check. I call it an attitude up. My attitude got tuned up. So that's a word that I made up. You get your attitude up. So anyhow, you guys, stay tuned. We're going to come out with another move of the week. And then, like I said, every once in a while, I'll hop on and just kind of give you a concept. Next concept I think I'll talk about will be the concept of leverage, and why jiu-jitsu doesn't depend on strength, but it depends on leverage and angles. So anyhow, all right, guys, be well, and we'll talk to you soon.